All right, all right, all right. I have, I would do doing something interesting, because I want to show you a match that I played 2 days ago, um, and it's relatively interesting. And I think this is a good opportunity to talk about some basics. Um, because in all honesty, this game was very tough, and genuinely I felt losing. Maybe I should have actually lost it. I don't. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but spoiler, I did win. So the question is rather about how did I do this, and how did I evaluate my win cons in what I presumed was a losing or near losing position, right? I can't afford to give up much of what I have for free. I have to try to squeeze out every little bit that I can, and I have to bait it out risk free. Alright? And you have to keep in mind that I didn't have access to any calcs. So the only thing I could go off of was things I remembered, things I have like a gut feeling about, right? And I could obviously use the slash math command anytime to use fractions to evaluate how much damage I maybe could do with another move, with another mon, by comparing attack stats, move based powers, and previous damage that I've dealt. Right? Those are the tools available to me. Um, or like those were available to me. I could technically calc, but I was playing on phone, and playing on phone it's obnoxious to calc. I don't do it. When I'm on phone, I play raw. I just do my thing. So I'm playing 100% reliant on my intuition and on my experience. That's what I do when I play on my phone. That's a 3 minute intro. I hope I didn't lose anybody. I hope no one got bored. But yeah, so let me just go um, and start the match off. And I have my team on my side to refresh my own memory, and uh, then maybe do my own calculations. And I just realized something, that the setup I've chosen is not good, because I can't actually pause. So I have to fix that really, really quickly. Oh, I don't like doing this. Yeah, there I moved something else. Make this a little bit smaller. Alright, now I have not quite everything. Now I have everything on screen, I think. Yep, looking good. I have everything on screen. Alright, we can start because now I can pause. I still have my tab open. I'm just gonna do it differently. We'll see about it. So, first thing first, we have a Wordia, we have a Palm mod leads, and if you look at my team, I have an Arceus Ground that is, I believe, slower than Palmod. Arceus Fairy that I believe is slower than Palmod. I would need to double check, but it should be slower. I have a Greedent, I have a Tropius, I have an Okidogi. Okidogi is definitely fine into that guy. Weezing is fine into that guy. But I have nothing incredible. But I'm like, I'm a Wordia, I'm intimidating you, right? Turn 1, you're gonna switch out, and my team is slow. My team is not great. Okidogi is a good mon. Tropius is a reliable mon, but but not a great win con. Though it's like always, it's Tropius is always a win con. That's what you have to remember. So Tropius is a great mon to get in rand bats, in my opinion. It depends on your knock matchup, your status matchup. You know, if your opponent has fire types or strong ground types that you need to wall with Tropius, and they have poison types, or like they have grass poison types even, then like stuff becomes tough. But you always have air slash. You're not 100% reliant on lead seed as long as you keep your citrus. It's fine. The big issue Tropius has is you have to make sure it does not get stalled out, right? So Tropius um, should not be forced to take on the entire team. It should just be, if possible, used to handle 1 or 2 months, right? Because then even with switching, you definitely kill those 2 months, and then your other team has to do the rest of the work. But like sometimes it doesn't work. Like I have some other replay. I hope it does still exist. I don't know when I played that game exactly, but where like I think I had one Celesil to stall out um, one substaller and a Moody substaller, I believe something like that, and I actually won somehow. But like stuff like this happened. So I just go for T-Wave this turn. My opponent stays in and knocks me off, which is obviously bad. They take life orb damage, as you can see here. I heal them, which sucks. But like now I'm like, okay, are they scared of earthquake? Are they scared of psychic noise? I would have assumed they're scared of earthquake, maybe. So if in case they are gonna switch out now, I'm now going for psychic noise. But I I expected them to switch out, but I really want this Palmod dead, so I'm just going for the kill now. I'm not doing the predict again. Sure enough, they expected me to do the predict again. They went for double chalk to negate Earthquake, I assume, because they thought, oh, Psychic Noise is more obvious. I'm gonna click Earthquake. I didn't. Um, and I get a kill. I get a kill that is honestly great. You can't see it, but after turn one, on turn two, I commented the rip, and then they stayed in. And I'm like, great, it's great. So now we get Vigoroth, and you've seen my team before. I don't really have a switch in. I don't want to be knocked. Things suck. So I just, in case they stay in and set up, I go for. Oh, I thought I went for T-Wave. I should have watched the match. No, okay. I go Ogi Dogi because I'm fine into Body Slam. It's a reasonable play. I thought I stayed in. I don't remember exactly. Right. So here I went for knockoff. As you can see, that was just I get there. If they stay in, like do the same thing as I did turn one, alright, by means I get the knock off, then I can break through with special damage because well, I still have an Arceus that can set up, right? I still have a Tropius that could maybe stall this guy, though I don't really want to because this should have knockoff every single time. It does. Like there's things to do. And now on this Gamery, right, I'm faster, so I decide I can actually set up and win the 1v1. It's not 100% correct evaluation, but they stealth rock, and like I didn't want to go for more than +1 because they can whirlwind me, so I just drain punch, and they brave bird me, and now they're definitely in range for me to kill. If they had attacked me immediately, then I might have died, but they decided to go Roost Rocks. I drain punch again, even though knock would have killed 20 from 24%. Well, maybe it wouldn't have actually, but yeah, knock would have been an amazing play here. But I just went for drain punch because I don't know what they have. Um, they stayed in with Skarmory instead of switching out on an obvious Drain Punch immediately. Um, so yeah, I it's all fine. It's all fine. But now I obviously got a switch and I sack my word here because I don't have a good switch in, and I deny U-turn if they have it. They tried fake out, which is good information, right? Fake out, you can see it on my extension as well, I think. Um, can you actually see it on the extension? Well, I don't know. But fake out means it's guaranteed assault vest. Um, so now I go Greedent because I Greedent is my only like Pokemon, right? And Tropius, I don't want to reveal Tropius because if I want to do Tropius, then I have to Terra it because I don't want to get status. Arceus, I don't want to get status, and even if I go Terra, like I can still get status. I don't want to reveal it. It's my win con. Greedent is just kind of a mon I can burn through. I can set up. I can get myself into healing range with double edge. And Weezing, well, Weezing is a mon, obviously. I don't want to reveal. I don't want to reveal that I have two poisons. And if I go Weezing, I have to Terra Steal it. That's not good. So I go Greedent and I SD here. Um, they go for U-turn. Um, they don't get the poison. And now they go for Skarmory. And I just try to double edge. I just go for double edge because, I don't know, does the most damage, works against everything. Yeah, they knock me off here. We trade, and Vigoroth dies. That's good for me. Vigoroth is an annoying Pokemon, um, and thanks to my knockoff, they couldn't heal against me. Right? They couldn't bulk up heal, so that's what made it so safe. And now this turn, right? I should have. Now okay. Now Greedent goes down, and now this is the crucial turn. Honestly, I should have paused faster. You see I go Tropius, and as I outlined already, if I go Tropius, I have to Terra Steel. My opponent is actually aware of that, as it turns out, but that's just life. Um, and I mean, but look at my other choices. My other choices were Ogidogi, Terra Dark. Incredibly obvious. They are gonna U-turn. I'm gonna get poisoned. I lose. That doesn't work, right? Ogidogi, first of all, it's too fickle. Second of all, like I open up my, I make myself. If I go Ogidogi and Terra Dark, if I don't get the kill on that one turn, right, then um, then then I lose, right? Because I make myself so susceptible to fake out. Tropius obviously can fake out, but Tropius is also like not doing much to AV, and I can always get attacks afterwards, whether they U-turn, whether they attack me raw, right? It's not good for me, and like as long as they can like sack him on um, for Tropius, they're always and right and they're already, well, I'm actually up a mon, but Monkey Dory is so strong against everything that they have. It's really annoying. Um, so I just have this Tropius, right? My Weezing has some longevity with Pain Split, but it can't actually deal good damage, and Toxic Spikes isn't real progress because I know they have a T-Spikes absorber, right? If I could force this guy to Terra, then T-Spikes might come into play, but I can't. Yeah, so I have to Terra first just to stay alive, and I'm at their whimsy. But like at least I have two unrevealed mons, they have two unrevealed mons. So we keep going now. I go Tropius, fix my rock weakness. They U-turn. I'm scared. Um, I go for Leech Seed, and they have a Heracross. And what's important is I find out this Heracross is Guts. Alright? and I have nothing that can oppose this Heracross, right? Ogidogi if it comes in as a sec, Arceus if it comes in is pretty much a sec. Weezing if it comes in pretty much a sec. Obviously, if they should always knock my Tropius, right? So I have to be afraid of knock. So I can reasonably go Arceus Fairy because it is unrevealed this turn, but not any other turn because I have to always respect Facade. And I think it's too early in the game to call my opponent out on predicts, especially when those predicts risk my Tropius. So I just protect to go for the stall because I know they have a hard counter, not quite a hard counter, but a pretty hard counter into my Arceus. And unless I get them on a switch with with uh, with Earth Power, it's bad for me because they can fake out, they can Sludge Wave, they can U-turn, they can do all sorts of stuff. And now it's definitely like a 50-50 game, right? Because between, or do I go Tropius, will they U-turn, will they not, right? But like honestly, for me, it's always the right play to go Tropius, and for them, it's always to go to do U-turn. And the problem is, Arceus Fairy is only 209 speed, so I can't offensively threaten Monkey Dory without um, without taking damage myself. And if I lose my speed option versus Heracross, the game becomes bad, right? But yeah, so I stall this turn, right, just to get Heracross down. It's free, it heals me. Um, they go for close combat here, and they actually double switch on my Ogidogi sec. Um, Ogidogi, I guess, was an obvious switch in, or they just doubled in general to see what I have, but now I go Ogidogi, I'm not happy. And I obviously immediately switch back. Um, my opponent does U-turn like is expected, and hazards are really hurting me, right? But like at least I am Harvest, right? So I can, so hazards help me a little bit because I can self-activate my Citrus Berry in some scenarios. But yeah, they U-turn. They have to go back into Heracross, but now the thing is, Heracross is their win con. All right, Heracross is their win con. It's turn 17 right now, so Heracross first came out on turn 14. So turn 14 is when it begins, the epic part of the game. So I always protect, right? I need that burn chip because it's my best way to deal damage to Heracross is getting 50-50s right and getting the burn chip. They now saw that I didn't have a better answer than Ogidogi, so they did close combat. I wasn't sure that close combat would kill me from that range. I was scared of a Facade, predicting a switch out. That's why I didn't go Arceus. Now I go Arceus, and I go hard for Earth Power because I'm scared of Monkey Dory coming in. And if they give me damage on Heracross, even if it's just an Earth Power, they stayed in. That's fine. I'm not gonna. I can just run the calc real quick in the background for Scarlet and Violet random battles. Oh my god, this is so annoying. So, Arc, would you mind, Calc? Arceus, Fairy, um, versus Heracross, Flame, Orb, Facade. So I would live a Flame Orb Facade right now. It would deal 52 to 61%. Um, And if they Terra normal to get the roll to kill me, it's not even guaranteed apparently, then I get more damage, and otherwise they should switch out, right? If they don't. So I get my Earth Power, um, and Victory comes in, and now this is a huge problem, right? If this is Sunny Day, I think I lose, and if this is knockoff, I also think I lose. So the first thing I do is go Weezing just to scout, and they go Heracross. They double, expecting my Tropius. So that tells me they don't have knockoff, right? Because otherwise, you don't need Victreebel to 1v1 Arceus anymore. So either they were scared of Tropius, because it's free and then they can't go into Heracross, um, or they don't have knock, and they don't have knock, right? Because otherwise, like, knock with Victory Bell on Tropius is obviously win for them. So that is huge information for me. Or they maybe could have been scared of my last, what it is, but I just go with the knock gamble, and it turns out to be true. Um, so here they go for Monkey Dory. I stay in obviously because hey, damage is damage. Fire Blast is my best move against all these guys. So now I go back into Tropius, um, because I have no other choice, and I would start actually sacking mons now, right? Or like I have to sack mons now, and I know that I can't keep Arceus Fairy anymore because of Victreebel being such a thorn. So I need to keep Weezing now. It sucks, but I have to keep Weezing, and I have to win a Tropius Weezing endgame somehow. So obviously I stall for more Flame Orb damage, um, and now I sack Arceus, and I'm just like, okay, Arceus just drops now to Facade. Great play by my opponent. Um, and now I have to go Weezing in here because this is a crucial moment, right? Like, I don't have a lot anymore. They can't stay in. They are not going for Facade right now. I double, right? I double, and this means I now get to freely substitute. Now I'm freely going for substitute. It raises the amount of HP I have long term, probably, right? Or like it keeps them the same at least. Um, and I get my substitute back. They go for Sucker Punch. So I start stalling the Sucker Punches. Um, because I I want to get rid of all their Sucker Punches, right? Because once they're out of Sucker Punches, they have to switch back out, or let me sub forever and chip themselves down, right? But like obviously, what I have to be careful of is not lose all my protect, not lose all my substitute PP, because I still need some protect PP versus Heracross, and obviously I need sub PP so that they can't actually safely sack Victory Bell and then go Heracross again after breaking my sub, um, because then I'm in a really bad spot. So right now Victory Bell still doesn't kill me, and yeah, now I just have to substitute and they have to die. Actually, this is an interesting turn that I should have calced, where I felt like kinda lucky, because I felt like I choked as soon as I lost my sub for that one turn, and I went for sub again to re-establish it, but yeah, I'm +2 steal. Okay, Power Whip would have done 54 to 64% that turn. So if we go to one turn earlier, so a max roll would have killed, Would a max roll have killed me? Yes. 1 in 16 max roll would have killed me, but any other roll I live and I actually get to re-establish my substitute, they die and I most likely win. So that dodge there was actually lucky for them, but it was unlucky for me, right? Um, so now I get my substitute back up, and I just I don't know. I just have to, yeah, I have to get rid of all their sucker punch PP and like force them to attack me. And here they attacked me, and I went for Leech Seed expecting a switch out. I don't really know why I expected the switch out. I I don't know. I don't actually know, but like it's tough to play right in my spot. Um, and Heracross is actually still 4 hits away from dying, right? So I need to get 3 turns in before they can't save themselves and have a seg available after my last protect. Um, Otherwise, they lose their Heracross. So I obviously protect here, and now I switch into Wheezing, and if they facade me, there's a decent chance that I lose. Um, Especially if the Terra normal facade me. But yeah, they do go for close combat, which is only 90, not 140 base power. But like if they had gone for Terra normal on that turn specifically, then I die. Now they can just regular facade me, but it doesn't matter anyways, because it's just about getting a play right. Because let's check. Let me check again in the background. Heracross, Flame Orb, normal facades. Tower normal facades to my Tropius does 33 or 34 to 40%. It's respectable damage, but I'm not in range. So now the game is literally just a 50-50. And I told you, right, Heracross first hit the field on turn 14. 14 was when like the end game started. The beginning, the early and middle game only lasted 14 turns, and that's already when we started the end game. And um, as you can see, right, Heracross now I need to get this turn right. Um, I am not even dead to a crit. I do not die, and now I can always just protect, and they die, right? They can now I can protect, and then they die. So they switch out to preserve the Heracross for later, right? But if they ever come in with Heracross on Tropius now, I can just protect and still sack, right? So all I have to do is not lose my Tropius to this guy. And now at this point, I I won, right? And they forfeit. But like that is a 34 turn stall, and I needed every single protect. Like I had 4 protects left, I had 10 subs left, right? So I still had a bunch of PP, but I needed like every ounce of chip on Heracross, and I still needed to win an endgame 50-50, because I didn't play it right against Victory. I don't know. Um, like the Victory intermission was so tough, right? Because I I can't afford to give up momentum, right? Like a thing that I could do here is go Wheezing and let Wheezing take damage, but then I'm just in range for facade at least, but potentially close combat too. Um, and Monkey Dory can come in, so I kind of really gotta stall this out right here, right? And like it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And if they, for example, had hit that one power whip that missed, right? Then I don't immediately get a harvest. Then they can go Monkey Dory and they can threaten Psychic Noise. And if I don't get a harvest that turn, then I can't even switch out to get another harvest because my Tropius will die to hazards. It will die to Psychic Noise if I don't protect. Sub doesn't save me against it. So there's a bunch of risk, and I unfortunately I don't get it right. I don't sub on their one power whip, and they actually get it right because I subbed unprotected almost every single time, right? I I attacked that one time when they did sucker punch me, and I leech seeded that other time when they didn't sucker punch me, right? So they actually got like two unlikely plays right, but like I don't know, somehow it worked out. But like what I'm telling you is you always need to look at everything that you have. You need to look at your entire team. You need to look at all your moves, right? Because Pain Split is a move that gives longevity, and Terra Steel with that guy was the same thing as against Monkey Dory, um, like technically, but Pain Split's A, much more unreliable healing, and B, um, even if I can force them to switch out because they don't want to take chip on their Monkey Dory, if they Psychic Noise, I can't ever Pain Split, right? Because Pain Split happens mid-turn. So unless they Psychic Noise has already worn off when they U-turn on me, when they switch out, I can't even Pain Split. And the good thing about Tropius is Leech Seed doesn't happen. It happens at the end of the turn. I believe Leech Seed happens um, before Psychic Noise wears off, but the Citrus Berry doesn't, and I can always protect and stall and have it wear off, and they can't reapply it to deny my Citrus Berry, right? So the Citrus Berry is more dynamic, it gives me more play, um, and I won't name any names, but I see it so often that like especially when I watch like casuals or like more lower rated players on Showdown, they don't appreciate the strength of a single protect enough, right? 6% chip on Heracross, 6% healing that you gain yourself, a little bit of information, a single PP that you stall, right? So these things matter enormously in an endgame, right? And this game is worthy of highlighting to me, not just because of like the wacky stuff that happened towards the end, but because I recognized that stalling Heracross is my win con, and or like is likely my win con, and it's at least one win con. So I didn't just be like, oh, I have tunnel vision, I have Arceus Fairy, oh, it's only 206 speed, not even 209 speed, and it has ground coverage from Monkey Dory, so I can just go into that, or Sekimon go into that, right? Because obviously I'm playing a set game against Heracross, where my resources grow thin. So I wasn't just like, oh, I can do this, right? But but I can start the stall immediately, and I needed it, right? So instead of thinking about, oh, what do I need right now? What is the threat right now? At the same time, you need to think about the future. Um, and maybe Heracross could have been more scary for me, much more scary, if it ever went for Trailblaze, went for Terra Normal earlier. Um, there are a variety of things. I think they definitely had to go for Terra Normal earlier, but yeah, it worked out for me, right? They made quite a few good plays. So this is just, it's tough. It's tough, but that's what I'm like. You gotta every set play that you make in the early game has to set up your late game, right? You you can't be lax about the things you do. Like I just let this whole thing play through again on slow speed while I keep talking, um, and find like my final conclusion. Right, like this is an early gameplay where I'm just like feeding my opponent out. It didn't work out. It did work out on turn two. Um, right, it's playing with unrevealed information is hard, but like I, all I really want to tell you is like always think long term. And yeah, I remember I went Ogidogi because it's good into Nog, and I thought Nog is a safer play into Wordier than Body Slam because I could have a ghost in the back, and I just that was my reasoning actually. At least that's the reasoning I just invented because I can't actually fully remember. Um, yeah, like you have to think in the moment sometimes, but like when you have an opportunity to think for the future, do it, right? Like um, it's a thing I learned like early on. When you only have a single fire resistance against a fire spam team, you don't switch in your fire resistance. You sack and then you put it in because then you can break the opponent momentum of your opponent's team, kill their win con, or just slow down the game at least, right? And you keep your fire resist for later, right? You don't allow your fire resist to get broken, to get two hit. That's the thing you have to prevent, right? Because if you have the threat on the fields and they can trade, they can two hit you, but they lose a crucial mon, they won't do it, or you raise your winning chances immensely, right? That's why hard switching certain Pokemon in, at least depending on the matchup, is just bad, right? And you have to know how to evaluate that. And like the valuable thing for me as well, that I which is kind of a reason why I went for the Sterosteel on Trophy specifically, because I know how limiting it is. It discourages switches because it's only threatened by so much, right? And it and Leech Seed only doesn't work on grasses, and you can always hit grasses with 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 air slash, right? So it's a gamble. It's 100% a gamble, right? Like fire coverage on a mon would have ended me, but I just had to try something, and I thought this was like the best odds overall. But like the thing is, apart from this turn here where I had leech seeded them already, right? They can't really afford switching out. They could have afforded switching out this turn. I think this turn my protect is very predictable, and but like they don't want to sack, and if they go Monkey Dory, I can just do the leech seed again, or can even air slash. It's a huge threat, so they don't want to do it. They don't want to Terra either because it shows their hand. I have two unrevealed mons. It's a big threat. So I know I can. And Heracross doesn't have sub to threaten whatever is sent in afterwards. It doesn't have right, which if Heracross had sub itself, that would make my set game much harder. Um, if it had setup, it might be more scary because suddenly it could Terra normal and just facade everything. If it could set up on my protect, but it can't switch out. So I know my protect is safe and I can start stalling early. And yeah, you know, there's just a lot to be aware of. So like, let's just appreciate it one more time. Watch the whole stall in full. Um, I'm actually just gonna have a smoke because I think I earned it. Maybe I'm gonna play some more Gen 1 or Gen 8 afterwards. Maybe I'm gonna play some Gen 9 just because my main is low. As you can see, this game I'm playing on my alt. My alt is well rated right now, around 2180 in Gen 9, which is a very good rating. It's not elite, but it's very good. Um, it's definitely good enough to fuck with the elite players. So that's all I can really ask. I have never been elite. The only thing where I've been like elite, or I guess close to elite, would be Little Cup. And even Little Cup I'm not doing so hard, but I'm also not motivated. This still shocks me that that CC kills an Okidogi. Like Okidogi is so nasty. Like it feels unkillable so often. I've had plenty of bad Okidogi matchups, and it has an annoying ability as well. Um, yeah. Here my earth power, it wasn't great, but at least it was something. It would have been much worse for me actually if I had immediately killed from that range with air slash. I didn't. Um, Still didn't matter in the end because I got the play wrong right at the last opportunity, and like I was always so tempted to just attack on the U-turns, right? Like it was so tempting every single time, but I told myself no. If they attack right here and you attack, you lose. So keep the game going, make it one more turn, make it one more turn, make it one more turn. You can always stall with protect. You don't have to play the slow game. Um, right? It is what it is. It's life. It's tough. It's hard. Here, in all honesty, I could have decided to go Tropius again, but I gain more from forcing them to switch and doubling, because now I get pressure against Victorable / I deny Heracross entry, right? So I force either Monkey Dory or well, realistically Victorable off the field, right? If I go Tropius, then they can always facade me again with Wheezing, and I just don't have enough health to actually uh, stall this Heracross out. Most likely, I don't know. In the end, it didn't change much, but it changed something, right? Like it's so hard. No, I get. I mean, Wheezing doesn't die immediately, right? So I could always go protect, go Wheezing, but then I need to go back, protect again, go Wheezing. Like, it's not so easy, I don't know. Probably didn't change much which one I went first, but my double worked out. Um, and starting on the Wheezing and going back, even if they facade me, it's not so bad because I can just go back into Wheezing, and then if they stay in, actually win, I think guaranteed. Um, but obviously they switched out, they didn't fall for it. My double still gave me good positioning though, at least, and they weren't knockoff, which is highly appreciated. Knockoff would have been my end. Um, yeah, now it's not long anymore, and then I'll release you, and I need to think about a video title. I How to win a losing game, like I don't know. I something that people are interested in. How to maximize value, how to maximize your resources. Yeah. Like now this is really nice. Because I just need to get one play right. So now I go for the Wheezing, and now I have to get the play. If they had gone for Facade here, by the way, I would have lost because they could have always gone CC. Now I have another shot at getting the game right. So they've kind of thrown these last two turns. They got 2 turns in a row wrong, basically. Um, But yeah, very great. I played this game without calc. Like I didn't even know the numbers. If I had known the numbers, maybe this would have been an entirely different game. I don't know. But maybe I just lucked into making the best long-term decisions. Um, yeah. Here go Leech Seed. Obviously, it doesn't heal me. It just saps their health. Um, Now they go Heracross back on my protects, which I don't really understand. I think that's just losing, but yeah. It took me 30 turns to win. I really don't get this. Were they thinking, oh, maybe I go Wheezing to reset my heal block? But I don't, because heal block wears off and then I get Citrus. I knew that, right? And if I switch out, I don't quite die to hazards, but like, I don't know. Yeah. My opponent was rated 2078 and I was rated 2072 at 2127. After this match we were rated 2061 and 2144. So overall, a good game because well-rated players, and I knew I was gonna take time for this analysis, but damn, that's a long time. So if you have managed to listen through all of this, congrats, you're amazing, and I hope you have learned something. Take care.